lead.
Already, we're seeing so many different options. I mean, you've seen Shaq go down low. You've seen Kobe posting up. Now Payton scores.
Finley to the crossover met by O'Neal. Walker for three. And a loose ball foul on Delk. So the Mavericks have missed their first 4 shots. Lakers get it back with that 8-0 lead.
And that's a decision Don Nelson made by starting this small unit. What he's hoping for is the dribble penetration, suck in the Laker defense, and then take his chances at spotting up by the three-point line for the perimeter game. If you're making shots, it's great. If you're not, then it's a problem against his veteran Laker front line.
Josh Howard, the rookie from Wake Forest, has checked in, coming on for Tony Delk. Josh Howard, who made his first start this past Saturday night against the T-Wolves, had a career-high 15 points. They like the long arms, an excellent defensive player. Guns one up. So the Mavericks are 0 for the quarter here at the start.
Mark, Delk got the senior day start. You know, I mean, when the walk-on gets the 2 minutes.
Shaq able to keep it alive after that lob attempt. And back come the Mavericks.
Does he get 3 field goal attempts on that one play?
All right, here's Nash. Yes! That's a 2-pointer. He had a foot on the line, so Dallas with its first field goal.
40% three-point shooter, but as you mentioned, he had his foot on the line. It's interesting what's happening in the NBA. 2-point field goal percentages all going down. 3-point shooters all going up.
Although the Mavericks are not shooting as many threes, or beautiful move by Payton. Mavericks not attempting as many as they did a year ago and not connecting on as many as they did a year ago.
And Don Nelson really had no answer when we asked him why that was. They're just not shooting the ball well. They still have good shooters.
3-point attempt by Finley. Lakers on the road have won 5 and lost 3. They are 10-0 at home. What a beautiful handoff from Malone to Payton.
Almost seemed like the game stopped for a second on the handoff. Nobody rotated, nobody moved for Dallas, and Payton just made a layup on his own.
Gary Payton has hit his first 3 shots. He has 6 points. It's the Lakers with a 12-2 lead here at the start, and the Mavericks take a timeout.
This is a basic pass and cut that the Lakers use all the time. You can see there's not a white jersey running to the ball. It's a deuce. The 2 people involved are Gary Payton along with Karl Malone. Payton comes down with the basketball, and he's going to feed. We'll get him right over here in a second. He's going to feed Karl Malone the basketball. And as he's Malone with the ball and Payton getting ready to run his cut on the back door, this normally would be the next man to make a rotation. But watch as they move these people around on the weak side, what happens. The defensive people for Dallas start to move, and suddenly no one is looking at the basketball. Payton takes the handoff and scores the easy layup. Someone must see the ball. Someone must be rotating. Fortune, a little too late.
That was just blatantly bad defense. I mean, that was awful.
Dallas at the other end, just 1 of 7 from the field. Here's Finley. Rebound swept by Malone. Sean Bradley has checked in for the first time, coming on for Danny Fortune. Fortune making his return here tonight after serving a 3-game suspension for that flagrant foul against Phoenix rookie Žarko Kaparkova. Here's Bryant, flinging one up. Will not count. Offensive foul.
Well, you gotta love Steve Nash. He's always sticking his nose right in on the play. Probably gets away with turning his shoulders a little bit, but he was set and in front of that little circle, so good call.
Antoine Walker being played by Karl Malone. Walker rejected by O'Neal. Mavericks want a goaltend. They will not get the call. It's a clean block, say the officials.
Remember, if the ball is on the upward flight, you can go get it. If it's on its way down, then it's a goaltending. Is that still going up when Shaq gets it? From that particular angle, it's tough to see.
And back to the live action. Nash not able to hit from 20 feet away. Here comes Payton with Bryant. They run the break beautifully.
And Marv, this is where the Lakers have really improved this year. Gary Payton pushing the ball all over the place. LA getting so many more easy baskets, not even really having to get into the triangle to score.
Rookie Howard is fouled. He's hit by Payton. This is the second of 4 meetings between these 2 clubs. They played opening night in LA. Lakers won by 16 points. They shot 51%. Dallas only 37. Lakers beating the Mavs for the 26th straight time in LA. Here's Bradley wide open, and they cannot hit a shot. Finally, Howard with the bucket, and he is fouled. 4 lead. The Lakers have won. This is an incredible number. 45 of the last 50 games against Dallas, including the last 4 in a row. Here is George. Good job keeping Bryant off the boards. Finley. Met by Payton. This is Walker. Trying to get it inside. Shaq running the floor. Payton fouled him. And O'Neal is fouled.
Steve mentioned the fast break opportunities that the Lakers have been getting. And am I seeing something? But is it the older guys that are leading the fast breaks for Malone? You're talking about Payton, you're talking about Malone, and then they get the big fella, Shaq, out in front. And there's the big fella being rewarded with the lob pass. And Finley's not going to let him finish. He's going to put him on the line and force him to make 2.
Antoine Jamison, who has played so well off the bench for the Mavericks, making his first appearance, coming on for Sean Bradley. And now Don Nelson is going very small. And Shaq hitting the free throws. He is 3 of 3 at the line. Tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN, it'll be the Spurs and the Magic. Magic with 17 straight losses, followed by the Timberwolves and the Kings from Sacramento. Then Saturday on NBA TV, it's the Pistons and the Rockets at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Sunday at 9, the Nuggets and the Celtics.
While Shaquille O'Neal was on the foul line, he looked over at the Laker bench, Marv, and asked the coaches basically, who do you want me guarding with this team on the floor? If he plays Walker, he's going out to the three-point line. If he plays Jamison, he's taking him off the dribble.
Karl Malone off the break. And here come the Mavericks. Howard able to save that lead pass. Lakers with an 18-4 lead. Bryant with the steal. Wait a second, did this club play last night? Kobe coming up short. The Dallas Mavericks are hearing the boos from this crowd. And now Jamison defending on O'Neal. Offensive foul.
This is an area where Phil Jackson had some concern. The Lakers have been great pushing the ball, but what they haven't been able to do is get into the flow of their offense if the fast break layup is not there. And they're all out of whack here. Shaq at the top of the key ends up driving totally out of a comfortable position for him. And Howard drawing a nice charge.
Mavericks only 2 of 13 from the field. Walker. Antoine Walker set up by Steve Nash for Walker, his first field goal.
So what the Lakers decide is, no, Shaq's not going to play Jamison and he's not going to play Walker. They have him on the rookie Howard right now, and they immediately put Howard in a pick and roll.
Bryant, another assist from Malone, who was able to curl it inside. Lakers 20, Mavericks 6. Nice play. Josh Howard showing his talent.
What happened in transition is Kobe was the closest guy to him. He could have taken Howard. Instead, Kobe passed him off to what he thought was somebody behind him. There was nobody there.
And Phil Jackson upset with Devin George.
Position defense. Shaq coming down the floor, knows he can't catch up with his man. He points to Kobe, who's back here. Take my man. Kobe thinks he's got one more guy behind him. So Kobe points right here as Howard goes through. You see Kobe pointing, saying, take him. Kobe's going to push out to this man. Well, what happens is there is no one behind Kobe. The breakdown in transition, 2 points for Dallas.
I think Phil Jackson was upset with Devin George, but he should have been a little angry with Kobe, because when you're the last guy back defensively and you're in the lane, you have to cover the basket. Kobe just tried to pass him off to somebody else and led to the easy layup.
It is Laker ball as we resume. This is the second of our TNT doubleheader. Earlier tonight, Philadelphia came from behind, beat Chicago 83-82. So the Sixers have even up their record at 10-10, and they're on top in the Atlantic Division at the 500 mark. Finley is stopped as O'Neal came over the shoulder on that rejection. And again, Mavericks looking for a goaltend. Instead, it'll be Dallas ball out of bounds.
Oh, I think he got hammered on the play. Makes a nice baseline drive and a pump fake, and watch. Hey, that's a foul. I mean, there's no way around it. Somebody's got to see that.
Here's Finley, a hard driving move, and again, the Mavericks upset there was no foul call.
I thought he'd get at least the makeup. I mean, because that one was questionable. Even Kobe's laughing right now. He knows the Lakers got away with one, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Nelly take a tee here to try to send a message to the refs.
Steve, you're exactly right. He's about a half a second away from getting.
And at the other end, the call against the Mavericks. Dallas is over the foul limit, and Devin George will shoot 2. You can see the look on Don Nelson's face. It's coming.
Although he is showing surprising restraint as we speak, but it's building.
Well, let's wait until the referees make one more trip down the floor here when they're down in Dallas's end, and then we'll judge Nelly's restraint. Okay?
That's right.
Devin George having an excellent season, averaging just under 11 per game, a 73% free throw shooter.
Now this is where, if you're Dallas, I think you go right to the rim, because the refs owe you a call, and that's really the way it works in this league. If they owe you one, they'll give you one, but you have to be aggressive to get it.
Howard spinning his way, had to kick it out. Shot clock down to 5. Walker. Mavericks not getting good shots. Excellent ball movement by the Lakers. Beautiful pass. Shaquille O'Neal from Kobe Bryant.
Like Nash pushes the tempo for Dallas, Payton pushes the tempo for the Lakers. And they don't have to bother getting into the triangle as long as they keep running the floor and he creates those situations. Their players are such good individual players that they can just play from there and everything looks good.
The Mavericks 4 of 19 from the field, and Shaq says, I'll take it by myself, and then takes the lob.
Well, Dallas is doing nothing to dispel the reputation they have as a poor defensive team.
10 points for Shaq. Here's Howard for 3. And Josh Howard has come off the bench to hit 3 of 5 for 7 points, so the Lakers now lead 25-11. Coming up on 3 minutes to go in this first quarter. Bryant with the step, and he's fouled by Howard.
Trying to get Shaquille a little bit more involved in the offense. Kobe takes on 2 defenders and then finds Shaq under the rim by himself. That's just a matter of catching and finishing. And then Walker never puts his body into Shaq's body on the cut. As a result, the blind lob over the top, which he catches and finishes.
Bryant, an 86% free throw shooter. He's averaging 21 per ball game. And here's Eduardo Nahara coming on for Michael Finley. Has had a tough time, 0 for 6 from the field.
Well, Nahara is a guy who really likes to stick his nose in there defensively. Hasn't played a whole lot this year because of the number of forwards that Dallas now has. Played a lot of center, and he's really not big enough to play that position. But the last couple of years at that forward spot, very good defender, tough player, he'll scrap.
6'8", 235 pounds, always on the move, high energy. That's Nahara with it. Jamison, played by George. Nash passed on the 3. He's been off, rebounded by Walker. Gets it inside, nice look, and Jamison converts.
You know Jamison wanted to get that up quick because he saw Shaq coming back down there real quick. He was shooting that while he was turning in the air.
Fortunately, he's pretty comfortable shooting that ball quick. He always kind of squirts it off. He's very good at that.
Lakers with a 27-13 advantage. It's tipped by O'Neal, playing catch with himself off the glass. Shaquille O'Neal dominating here at the start. He has 12 points.
It's unfair. It's like watching a high school player play against a kindergartner. I mean, he's just too big and strong.
And Jamison is fouled. Took the hit from George. Pushing foul. That's 2 on Devin George.
Over. You'd think he'd be happy, but he's got some pride.
I think he's happy with tonight's first quarter. They've been looking for him, as they should, with the domination of Shaq. 7 shots, 4 for 7, 4 for 4 at the line, 12 points.
Well, if they're looking for him, he's not very hard to find, is he?
Travis Best has come on for the first time for Dallas matched up with Payton, able to knock that pass aside.
Where when the ball goes in the low post to Karl Malone, it's really interesting to watch away from the ball with the Lakers because they know that Karl Malone will find you and will pass it to you if you're open. You got all kinds of back cutting going on, splits away from the ball.
Payton spinning his way, using the pick. Here's Russell, and that shot was deflected short. Antoine Walker now at point forward. Jamison was down low and cleared it out. Walker with the step. Walker. And the Lakers felt that could have been a charging foul.
Well, there's no more big fella in the lane now, so Dallas looking a little more comfortable penetrating into the lane.
29-17, Lakers with the lead. A minute to go in this first quarter. Payton. Medvedenko trying to keep it alive. Here come the Mavericks. Walker going at Russell. Walker gets the hop. It is down to a 10-point Laker lead. They've led by as many as 17. Antoine Walker has 6 points. Marv Albert with the czar. Mike Fratello, Steve Kerr, Craig Sager. Medvedenko able to wrestle it free. Here's Fisher running it cross court. Offensive foul.
Well, Dallas finally showing some signs of life here, Marv. Not only offensively, but defensively. You see Fisher here making the nice move, but finally a little defensive rotation from the Mavericks. Where's it been all night?
Marv, remember last year, the big concern for the Lakers was when they went to the bench, what were they going to find there last year? Now you look at the bench, you've got Derek Fisher, who was the starter last year, coming off the bench. You have Horace Grant, who's really a terrific veteran player. You've got Russell, there's the drive by Nash, misses the layup. And then, maybe soon to return, Rick Fox, who had his first 5-on-5 workout this past week.
Talking with Rick earlier, he said he hopes early January Medvedenko extends to a 31-19 lead for the Lakers. Rick Fox recovering from surgery on his left foot. Hurt himself back in the first round of the playoffs against the Timberwolves last season, and said he hopes to be ready perhaps first week in January. Final seconds of the first quarter, and a defensive 3-second violation against the Lakers. So technical foul shot coming up. Dallas could not hit a shot. The end result after one, it's the Lakers 31, the Mavericks 20. Shot clock to 5. Lakers are having difficulty locating shots. Ryan is fouled by Howard. So Kobe will go to the line.
First we see Kobe elevating. Clock running down. Kobe knows that he's got to get the shot off. So suddenly he steps back and hits it. And then Steve Nash, not reluctant at all to come right back, top of the circle, a 3 for Nash.
Three-pointer off the feed from Howard. Then the long rebound and a great pass up court, although Walker ruins the assist, but still gets the deuce. And then the John Stockton special. Push it, pull up for 3. Steve Nash is
here by Dallas, coming out of the timeout.
Fisher trying to get it down low, recovered by Russell, and then he lost it. Here's Nash with Daniels. Daniels blows the layup. And Steve Nash is saying, why didn't I take that myself? Fisher and Sean Bradley back on the floor, able to reach for that rebound. Jamison, rebounded by O'Neal.
Mike, I agree with you. I think that's a shot that Jamison hits if Shaq isn't there, but he's wary of Shaq's presence, and I don't blame him.
I don't know how Marv heard Steve Nash talking to himself. It's amazing to me.
I heard voices, which has been happening a lot recently. Foul on Bradley.
Do you see dead people, too?
No, I have not reached that status. No.
Good.
Mark Cuban in disbelief that a foul is being called, and you'll see Shaq trying to create some space, and from that position right there, sure looks like the hand is right on top of the ball.
And Shaq now 4 of 6 at the line, hit his first 4, missed his last two. Shaq's free throw shooting has been off, down to 50%. Coming up on the Verizon halftime report, apparently someone stepped in, and it was Shaq. All right, so the ball back to Dallas. Al travel again for Ernie Johnson tonight, joined by Kenny and Charles in the studio. And they'll break down the wild and wacky Midwest division. It's all coming up on the Verizon halftime report. Pass intended for Nash. And here comes Payton. Payton splitting his way through. A loose ball foul, a pushing foul on Malone.
The veteran, Karl Malone, keeping his hands down low, hoping the officials looking up in the air, and a little shove in the back of the opponent in front of him to try to create that offensive rebound possibility. All of a sudden, Walker moved. There you see Malone with those hands in his back. Just move him out of the way.
Shove.
All of a sudden, he moved.
And, you know, even though the Lakers didn't convert there with Payton missing the layup, that's the kind of thrust in their offense that they lacked a year ago. I mean, I think maybe 3 seconds went off the clock before Payton was laying it up. So much improved fast break and offensive punch for this Laker team.
Lakers over the foul limit. Mavericks have dropped down to 78% at the line. That's sixth in the NBA. Last season they tied for the lead at the free throw line.
And 49 for 50 in the playoff game against the Spurs. One of the great free throw performances I've ever seen by one team.
O'Neal going at Bradley and draws the foul. Shaq took a poke in the eye. You get the idea that he kind of lights up when he sees Sean Bradley.
What did Don Nelson say today when we talked to him? He said Shaq always seems to play well against Bradley. He doesn't know why. Maybe it's just because he doesn't like him.
Yes.
That's not very nice.
Well, there are a few players that around the league, as you know, Steve, that don't have a real fondness for Sean Bradley. Sean has a way of nailing you with his elbows, with his flailing arms, and then he takes some intentionally. A couple years back, he took some very hard intentional fouls that people were not very forgiving about.
Well, those elbows are going to knock some people around, whether it's intentional or not. The man is 7'6", but you're right. He has made some people angry in this league.
So the Lakers now lead by 7, coming up on 1 minute remaining in this first half. Nash, offensive foul. Steve Nash arguing the call with the official Tony Brothers. Brothers saying that he pushed out with his right hand.
As he started to turn the corner, he takes his right shoulder and moves it into the defender right there. You see Derek Fisher bounce back. That's Nash trying to initiate contact. Tony Brothers was right on the baseline with the proper angle when he made the call.
Now Jamison defending on O'Neal. Gary Payton extends to a... Shake it like a Polaroid picture. Shake it. Fratello, Steve Kerr. Lakers up 51-42. Steve, I think that Mavericks are fortunate to be trailing by only 9 when you look at the shooting in the first half. 28% from the field.
It's amazing, and you still get the feeling that the Lakers are just toying with them. And as you know, you can't do that against Dallas for too long because they've got so many offensive weapons. They can stay in the ballgame.
The Czar would like to toy with the numbers. We take a look at tonight's Marine game summary.
Well, anytime you can survive a 28% shooting in the first half and still be in the game, obviously you're doing something right. All the other numbers seem to just make sense. If you're only shooting 28%, you're not going to have a lot of assists. Points in the paint, that's because of the Shaq factor right there. To me, Marv, it'll be interesting whether the Lakers, who came out and jumped on a 31-20 first quarter advantage, whether they can crank it up and get going again here in the second night with a couple of the older players in the league and walking out on the floor for the last 24 minutes here. We'll see if they can pick up their energy levels.
Huge first half for Steve Nash. Did most of his damage in the second quarter. 17 points in all for Nash. Shaquille O'Neal leading the way for the Lakers. 15 points, Kobe Bryant with 12. Now Nash hit 4 of 6 from the field in the second quarter. The rest of the Mavericks 1 for 16.
Yeah, Finley 0 for 9 to this point. Jamison 1 for 7. So for the Mavericks to have any chance to win this game, those guys in particular have to get going.
And Dallas once again without Dirk Nowitzki, sidelined by the sprained right ankle, missing his 4th straight game. Dallas coming off a victory over Washington here on Tuesday night. Lakers last night came from behind in San Antonio, beat the Spurs. Here is Finley, and there you have it, his first field goal of the night.
Well, Marv, it didn't take Don Nelson long in the first half to figure out the starting lineup that he put out there he didn't like. Fortune only got 4 minutes, Tony Delk 2 minutes, and now we see a completely different starting lineup for Dallas here in the second half. Now he's going with Howard and going with Nahara against the Lakers.
Howard playing with 3 fouls. Kobe Bryant from downtown. The closest that Dallas has been within 5 points. It was 44-39 with about 4:20 remaining in the half. Lakers have led by as many as 17. Nahara with the block, kept alive by Bryant, and a beautiful reverse. Lakers up by 12. Here's Nash, rejected by O'Neal. 3-on-2. Malone is fouled. So Karl Malone hit by Michael Finley. Let's check in with Craig Sager. Craig?
Well, Marv, at halftime, Don Nelson told his team, guys, it doesn't get any worse than this. We shoot 27%. We can't get a break in the game. But look at the scoreboard. At that point, we're only down 9. He also said we got to keep playing. He said we'll definitely shoot better. We have to stop the layup brigade, which we did. They had 20 points in the paint in the first quarter, only 6 in the second. He said, guys, we're a shooting team. Keep shooting.
Yes, this a Dallas team that is 3rd in scoring. Sacramento leading the league, averaging 105 per game, followed by the Lakers at 102, and then Dallas at 100 points per game. Karl Malone extends to a 14-point lead.
You just get the feeling that the Lakers have an extra gear this year, and so much of it is Gary Payton pushing the ball. And then we saw Karl Malone there getting out on the break. He's 40 years old, and apparently he's winning the races in practice, like when they line up to run lines. So his age does not appear to be much of a factor with his conditioning.
Finley, rebounded by Howard, and rejected by O'Neal. That's 4 block shots for Shaq. Devin George with room for 3. Rebounded by Howard. They look to trap him. He's in trouble. Gets it ahead to Nahara. That's a 3. Antoine Walker from downtown. Lakers 58. Mavericks 47.
When you keep too many guys hanging around the backcourt trying to steal the ball, if you pitch it ahead, then the offensive team has numbers, and that's what happened that time.
Nahara now trying to defend against O'Neal. And a 3-second violation called on Shaq.
It's got to be so frustrating for Shaq. I know he's so big and strong, but just to have little guys draped all over him the entire game, and then to get called for a 3-second violation, very frustrating for the big fella.
I detected something in your voice about little guys. There was nothing.
That's a second reference he's made.
Hey, believe me, I am a little guy, so nothing personal. Like
Nash to the crossover. He had no angle. And the foul on Malone as Nash took a shot in the mouth. And Nash saying, hey, that should be a flagrant.
And Nash is asking for the ejection. He said he should be out.
Well, Karl Malone has made contact with a number of players with those flying elbows. Steve Nash very upset. And apparently a technical foul was called on Phil Jackson.
Karl Malone is second.
Let's take a look here. Nash getting right into Malone's body, and I don't think that
the coaching staff didn't do anything. It was just Kiki. There's Nelson. He's about ready to go.
Did Kiki not make good moves?
Yes, he did. I'm only half a jest. Up, and there it is. Tony Brothers had enough. He waited for the play to take place, the action to stop. He didn't want to penalize the Lakers. Once there was a turnover there or a ball out of bounds, then he threw Don Nelson.
So Don Nelson has been ejected.
he just doesn't want to stick around and watch this. And I can't blame him. Yeah, it's remarkable because it's only an 11-point game, but you just haven't really had the feeling tonight that Dallas has ever really been in it. I mean, they've made some good runs and cut the score down, but the Lakers in clear control here all night long.
And Kobe Bryant, 6 of 6 at the line, shooting the technical. All right, here's Tony Brothers teeing up Don Nelson.
And you see, Brothers showed remarkable patience for a while, and as a good veteran referee, let the play develop before tossing Mr. Nelson.
The argument is, when that technical, or when it was all taking place, who was the ball out of bounds off of? Who should be getting possession of the ball right now? That's what Dallas is talking about.
So maybe Tony Brothers didn't wait long enough to call the technical.
MR,
on a loose ball means a jump ball, and each team can select who they would like to be involved in that jump. Lakers control. Bryant for 3.
And shockingly enough, the Lakers selected Shaquille O'Neal to jump. Huh. Imagine that.
So the Lakers now lead 65-50. Here's Walker from downtown. Evan George battling for the rebound, and he is fouled. Foul on Delk.
Dallas number 7, Tony Delk, is third.
That's 3 on Delk. Let's go to Craig.
Well, Mark, we mentioned at the beginning of the telecast that Don Nelson couldn't stand to watch the Lakers on tape because he said they were too good. Maybe he can't stand to watch them in person either. But anyway, he's back in the locker room. And there he can check on his star player, Steve Nash. We just left there moments ago. Steve Nash has a cut bottom lip, also a loose tooth on the bottom. Nothing fell out. He says he will be back in, but right now he's getting stitches in the bottom lip. We do not know how many yet, but as we all know, he grew up playing hockey in Canada, so he says he will be back.
Yes, Steve is tough and will make his return. Donnie Nelson running the team along with Del Harris. With head coach Don Nelson back in his office. Would you like to lash out at Don's on? He's listening. He's just firing away here. And here's Steve Nash making his return. Bradley able to hit. So the Lakers now lead at 67-52. That ends a 7-0 run by LA. They double up on O'Neal. Malone with a good pass, and George had it knocked away.
You know, they didn't convert, but what beautiful execution against his own defense. Malone flashing into the lane and then finding the cutting George. Lakers play so well together.
Delk and the Mavericks have actually hit 2 consecutive shots.
You were mentioning 50-point scorers on the floor earlier tonight, Jamison and Kobe. There's another guy, Tony Delk, who's had 53 in his career.
I watched that game. That was one of the most stunning shooting performances I've ever seen.
Delk at the time with the Sacramento Kings. Crowd wanted a traveling violation on Kobe Bryant. So the Lakers lead by 15. Kobe has 23, 11 of the 23 here in the third. Finley, yes. Only his second field goal. Michael Finley now 2 of 15. But the Mavericks hitting some shots here in the third quarter.
You know, remember, Mark, as Kobe tees up a 3, the last time we saw Don Nelson ejected, Del Harris wasn't far behind him as far as joining him in the locker room.
And a timeout taken by the Mavs. You see Del Harris in a heated discussion with Tony Brothers. 5:04 to go in the third. Lakers have a 13-point advantage. Closer range. This time Shaq went out and closed on him. Nice pass. Malone for O'Neal and the foul.
What a pass. I think Karl Malone is having more fun than just about anybody in the NBA this year. He doesn't care if he's scoring. And what he's added to this team is a beautiful passing presence. He sees the floor so well. And you can just tell he's just having a ball.
Assist number 4 for Malone. Shaq 6 of 11. at the line. The foul on Finley, that's his fourth.
Karl Malone averaging just slightly more assists per game than Kobe Bryant is, so you like that from your power forward position.
You know, and Malone is just a couple of years away from possibly breaking the all-time scoring record, and yet does he seem concerned with scoring points at all out here? And what a great lesson that is for some of the other Laker players, the unselfishness that he shows.
Steve Nash, as you see, is back on the floor despite taking that shot moments ago from Malone, who came up with a steal. Malone all the way. The tip by George. And the Lakers have their biggest lead of the night. They're up by 18. This is the second meeting of the season between the Lakers and the Mavs. Delt coming up short on the three. And Jamison on the follow. Lakers and future Hall of Famers on this Laker team as Bryant comes up short. You guys know the last team with at least 4 future Hall of Famers in their starting lineup as Jamison is able to go last.
It's got to be the Celtics, doesn't it?
Let me think about it for a while.
Oh, okay. Don't worry about paying attention to the game here, Mike. Go ahead and go into your little archive that you have there.
Sorry, time is up.
I wasn't ready yet.
The New York Knicks of the 70s. Kobe Bryant with a huge second half. Willis Reed, Walt Clyde Frazier, Bill Bradley, Dave DeBusschere, later on Earl Monroe.
And Phil Jackson will probably join them, but as a coach, of course.
Lakers by 16. Antoine Jamison. We're down to 2.5 remaining in this third quarter. Lakers gunning for an 8th straight win. 11 of their last 12. Timeout is taken.
So in the face of adversity, you get some positive out of it, and that's what I try to do. But I'm enjoying the guys. The guys respect what I try to do as a player, and they respect me as a person. And sometimes that means more to me than a dollar. So it's kind of neat to have that feeling.
We were talking a moment ago about Karl Malone's pursuit, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record. And as you see, he needs to average about 15 points a game in 117 games to pass by Kareem.
Well, the way his body looks, he could play another 12 years, so he may end up at about 56,000 points. I mean, look at that. It's stunning. And he works out so hard to maintain.
Fisher, Malone. Well, the Mavericks have to be very pleased about where they are. They're down by 10 after trailing by 18. An 8-2 run to conclude matters here in the third. Kobe Bryant with 27 points for the game. Strong third. Wins 3 losses. They're 10-0 at home at Staples. They have won 25 straight regular season games. Shaquille O'Neal with the head fake and able to step around Eduardo Nahara.
See the foot speed and quickness of Shaq right there going around Nahara.
In the last 3 or 4 possessions, Lakers making a real effort to slow the pace down and I think just methodically wear down Dallas.
Well, a fast-paced game just gives Dallas the opportunity to come back in it once again, make up the points quickly in transition. So now they're using some clock up, trying to take advantage of Shaq inside.
And a loose ball foul, a push called on O'Neal. That's his third personal. Lakers in the midst of an 11-2 run. They have their biggest lead of the night. And Josh Howard checks back in for Eduardo Nahara. Nash for 3. Steve Nash able to line drive at home. He has 24. Kobe Bryant at the free throw line, just under 6 remaining in this fourth quarter. The Los Angeles Lakers gunning for a record of 16-3. They have the best record in the league. Indiana now 15-4. They lost at Portland in overtime last night. How do you guys react to the Bonzi Wells trade? Bonzi going to Memphis, Wes Person and future #1 draft pick involved?
I think it's long overdue for Portland to make some personnel changes. They've had a lot of difficulties over the years with various personalities and incidents, and I think it's time for them to purge their roster. Bonzi's a very talented player, and hopefully he'll have a fresh start in Memphis and respond well, but frankly, he caused some problems in Portland. It's probably the right move for the Blazers.
Now, you played with Bonzi several years back.
I did 3 years ago, and I don't think there's a stronger two-guard in the entire league. The guy is incredibly talented, but as I said, at times a guy who caused a lot of trouble.
Saw Antoine Walker hit the three-pointer that time. What it does is it gives Memphis a little more toughness, something that they wanted to add to the team. Kobe Bryant on the inside. Wesley Person was not having a good year shooting the basketball. Both players, similar amount of money. Person's contract is up at the end of this season. There's an additional year on Bonzi's contract. So Memphis willing to take the chance. They gave up a first-round pick. It's protected. If it's 1, 2, or 3, they do not have to give it up. But otherwise, it goes to Portland. So that's some people feel a lot to pay. Others think it's a steal that Memphis came up with Bonzi.
Beautiful move by Payton. Lakers now lead 99-84. Bonzi Wells did not get along with his head coach Maurice Cheeks. Howell, look out. You okay?
You all right, Mark?
I'm all right. I was trying to protect you from Gary Payton.
That was like HD TV.
Yeah. Well, here's another look at it.
Mark, you got to step in and take the charge here. You can't just get out of the way.
See the hand, the stiff arm?
Yeah, I mean,
Czar sits there unconscious.
I wasn't concerned. If he wiped both of you guys out, I finished the game out. That's all.
And here's Walker for 3.
Sager comes over, sits next to me. You two go in for repairs.
Would Sager get to talk at all in that circumstance, or you just take over?
I'd go to him occasionally.
As I was saying, as Kobe is off the mark, how will Hubie Brown and Bonzi Wells get along? Antoine Walker is there.
What happened is they've gone to the same tactic that they used last year in the playoffs of fouling someone intentionally. Right now, as the ball came down the floor, they grabbed Shaquille O'Neal that will send him to the foul line. So Dallas is going to make the Lakers have to make free throws down the stretch. Watch Shaquille O'Neal. You'll see one of the players now suddenly step up and start grabbing him. Jamison comes from behind. There's the foul taking place. They'll send Shaq to the line.
It is Hacker Shaq time. Shaq 7 of 12. He says he'll hit the free throws when they're important. We were talking about Shaq's free throw problems earlier with Phil Jackson. He said he always is a slow starter.
He's usually a slow finisher from the line too, but he has been better the last couple of years. I think closer to 60%, but around 50. But here he is, knocking down the big ones.
Shaq just looked over as he ran back down the floor and said, "Don't worry."
Did he think we were concerned?
Must have.
Howard. Walker on the follow.
And you know, Mike, you've been in this league a long time. You've seen, how many games have you seen that are 8, 10-point games with 2 minutes left and you lose? I mean, this is a dangerous situation. We've been kind of lollygagging our way through this game the last hour, but Mavericks have a shot here.
There's no question that 8 or 10-point lead with 2 minutes remaining is a lot of time. Once again, they're calling for the foul on Shaq before it gets under 2 minutes, so there's the foul.
Foul on Howard, that is his 6th.
And Howard made a huge rookie mistake there. He's got 5 fouls. You can use that foul with anybody. Steve Nash tried to run over and take it, but Howard's got to know that they need him on the floor.
And with 2 minutes and under remaining, Lakers can designate who goes to the line, and then they will have possession. So Howard fouls out 9 points, 14 rebounds. And the Lakers will put it in play. Lakers 105, Mavericks 96.
Marv, the wording on that is we see the layup take place that time as caught.
So the Lakers are on their way to an 8th straight win. Here's Walker for 3. They'll go to 16 and 3. 11 wins their last 12 games.
And they've been beating the big boys lately, too. The Spurs last night, as we see Finley with the steal in the finish.
George took his eye off the proceedings, and
yes,
from the blind side, he was stripped by Finley, and a timeout called by the Lakers. Down to a minute 7, the big four. Bryant 32 points, Shaq 25 and 19, also 4 block shots, 5 assists. Payton 17 and 7, Malone 11 and 9.
I think these numbers are like a blueprint from Phil Jackson. You couldn't draw it up any better because Kobe's a guy who needs to score. You know, Shaq wants to be dominant. That happened tonight. Gary Payton needs to distribute the ball. He's got 7 assists, and Malone's just kind of doing everything.
And as you mentioned, there was a certain point, maybe 7.5 minutes to go, Steve. You mentioned that the Lakers made a definite commitment to slowing the game down a little bit, starting to take time off the clock. That last possession couldn't have been much better. They used 22 seconds off the 24-second clock, and then wind up having George hit a 3-point shot. That's kind of like how you'd like to draw it up.
Yes, it is.
So Shaquille O'Neal, who came out looking for the basketball against a team that he knew he could dominate. Dallas without Dirk Nowitzki. They went with a combination of Danny Fortson, who we have not seen since the early moments of the game. He started the game, and then Sean Bradley, Eduardo Nahara. Malone at the high post. Now Payton, played by Best, and Russell for 3. So the Lakers 7 of 19 from downtown. Here's Walker. As always, excellent job by our production crew, our producer, Scooter Bertino, director, Renardo Lowe, statistician Chuck Gardner. Down to a half minute remaining in the game, and the Lakers will make it. Oh, beautiful backdoor, and Bryant was blocked. He thought he was fouled. Lakers will make it 2 out of 2 against these Mavericks. Finley scores. And Michael Finley making that stat line look a little better after the 0 for 9 start. He's now 8 for 24. Mavericks will drop to 12 and 7. Lakers 16 and 3. Best record in the NBA. They've won 8 in a row, 11 of 12 as they head back home for Utah on Sunday night. First of 3 straight at Staples. It's the first home defeat for the Dallas Mavericks. They had won their previous 10. Let's go to Craig with Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, Shaq, back-to-back nights, you defeat 2 teams that won over 60 games last year, the Spurs and the Dallas Mavericks. Where are you guys at this point in the season? What kind of message are you sending?
I think we're getting better every game. We feel that if we play the type of game that we know we're capable of playing and we can beat any team. We just came out here and played hard. We know that they had great shooters. We know that Dirk wasn't playing, so we wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, play good defense. They do a lot of trying to make you, match up against them. But, when they got a guy 6'7" on a guy 7 foot, the only thing we got to do is get it inside, make them double, kick it out. Just play good, smart ball.
One of them to Eddie Curry, who can finish. Bulls up.